Welcome to my Let's Play of Tiny Rails, the fun game with a train, and that's mine going past at the moment. Now where I left it last time, I had just finished the Asia East, or the Asia quest, and it was sending me back to Ottawa to pick up the next quest, which will then take me, I believe, to Oceania, or Australia basically. Australia and the surrounding areas. So my train should be somewhere near Ottawa, though not precisely in Ottawa. Apparently it's in Montpellier, Vermont. If I look at the map, right, it's right next to Ottawa, where that wonderful little exclamation point is. Now there's a lot of things I need to do with this at the moment, but for now I'll depart to Ottawa and then I'll head back to the map because I need to zoom out. One of the things I need to do is I have completed this area, Middle East Upper, mainly because I was going backwards and forwards through it, so I dropped some cargo off while I was going through, and that was enough to do the tasks, which means I can collect this, which gets me 50,000, a new factory, and the Middle East Lower area unlocked. And one of the reasons I want to do that is Middle East Lower is right between where one of my depots is and Africa East, and as it's hard to move cargo in and out of Africa East because the nearest depot is in the middle of Europe, I want that unlocked, so I will collect that. That gives me a new train to play with. Okay, I've arrived in Ottawa. Valerie, all aboard! Nika, here is my ticket, ma'am. Nika from one of the previous quests was a spy for the Canadian Secret Service. Ah, Russia. We have to make a couple of stops along the way. I hope you don't mind. Nika, oh, I don't mind. I recall your passenger cabins are top notch. Lance, Hank, doesn't that woman look oddly familiar to you? I've smelled that perfume before. Nika, how are you? Sophia, how did you know it was me? Your eyes. You should use contact lenses next time. Well, you clearly passed my test. Now on to the reason I'm here. Can we speak in private? We can speak in my cabin later tonight. Until then, we have some passengers to drop off. Nika, you need to catch me up on all your adventures. Gamian, I've established contact with the crew. Roger. Okay. So, let me... Okay, apparently it's... I've got to make a stop at London next. That wasn't part of my plan, I really must admit. I was thinking I was going to go straight to Oceania. So, I was prepared to go to the western side of Australia and take a boat to Australia. Yeah, western side of America and take a boat to Australia. Apparently I'm not doing that anymore. Okay, so having unlocked the Middle East, was it Middle East Upper? This area here. That does give me a new factory in the middle, which I can't currently get to. Or that one. But it gives me a route from my depot through a couple of places, including Jerusalem, Amman, and Baghdad. Oh, really nice places to be going through. Into Port Said and Cairo, etc. This area, which is that area, which is Africa East. And as you can see, I've purchased pretty much every station I can purchase and upgraded it. But I've got a lot of stations to build in Africa East before I can really make my way around it. But my depot, or my depots, are pretty much stuffed with building equipment and resources, so that shouldn't be too big a problem. Now the other thing I want to do, because if you look in the top left you can see the amount of money I've got. I have been travelling around filling in resource requests, completing jobs along the way, doing loops to get enough resources and all sorts of wonderful stuff while I'm in Ottawa. Has got anything I want? No, it needs parkers. I don't have any of those. That I do know. I do need that stuff. It wouldn't hurt to have the plastic windows as well. The rest of it can stay there. And what I wanted to do is find the train I just unlocked, which I believe is that one, the SAU or SAU 500, because it's new and different. And I've put the equivalent caboose on the back. And now, as is my norm, I tend to swap out the front 3 cars once they're fully upgraded, and these 3 are now fully upgraded. And I have a load of new cars to play with because I went round to some of the factories and collected the cars that were around. So you I will swap out with the behemoth cargo car. Doesn't carry that much cargo apparently, but what the heck. What else have I got? Let's find some of the more unusual ones if I can. That's a maglev. That's a steam cargo car. Silver passenger car. I know I've got some more interesting ones than that. Hopefully lying around somewhere. Ah, there's one. Right. There's 2 of them. The marble car, which apparently does a load of music. And that's about all it seems to do, but we haven't used that one. So, and this thing, the rewinder car. Okay, you do a load of music as well. So my passengers are going to be very musically happy with all the entertainment I'm providing them. But doesn't really provide much passenger space. However, I've got enough cargo space and passenger space. It's a weird looking car, the way it undulates the colour. Right, so now, having swapped out 3 cars, the engine, etc., I've got to go to London, which is going to take a long trip through an underwater tunnel, the transatlantic tunnel. But, well, I've completed the job, but what I want to do is see if I can find the train I just got. It's not that one. No, I don't see it. Apparently they've got trains up to number 98, but there's a total of 56. So some of them aren't in the trainery, including the SAU 500 apparently. At least I can't see it. Oh, there's an obstacle in the way. I really don't care that much what its stats are anyway. But I just thought it'd be nice to have a different train on the front, as well as some different cars, because I get like that occasionally. As I say, I also have all this money from all the jobs I've been completing, and I've completed a few others, and I've got 116,000 in the caboose, so we'll collect that while we're there. And I want to retain most of it. The reason why is if I go over to Africa East and its task list, it shouldn't be too difficult to complete this task list. And okay, I thought it was Africa East that opened up a new depot. I must have been mistaken. Not Africa Centre, Africa South. There's a new depot going to be around somewhere. I don't know where it is. But I need to buy a depot. I was hoping there'd be a depot in Africa. I know I've now got... That's about the only stuff I want from you. I'm not carrying any fireworks, am I? Nope. Pretty sure in my travels I saw somewhere that opened a new depot. I'm not sure where it is, but it may open the depot, but you've still got to buy it, which is going to cost me, I'm pretty sure, the best part of 5 million. Hence the reason I want to keep most of the money. Otherwise I'd upgrade a load of stations I'll upgrade a load of the expensive stations, like New York and Houston and Dallas and various others in the United States. So I would, because I'm pretty close to completing everything I need to do in North America. There's 3 Canadian cities. I believe that I haven't completed Ottawa, Toronto and Montreal, I believe. Which requires Parker's fireworks and computer chips. Which I don't have enough of those, or I don't have hardly any of those in my depot. And Houston requires this poutine stuff, which is one of the reasons I'm collecting it as I go through Canada. But in the USA, I've got to get about 40 sets of ribs for New York, best part of 1,000 poutine for Houston, and I forget, somewhere in the region of 40 to 50 Parkers for Seattle, and that's all the cities left in Canada and the USA. Then I've got to complete a few cities in Mexico, and that will be the whole of North America done, because Alaska counts as its own area. So when I figure out where the new depot is going to get put, when I find it again, because I saw it once, I'm positive, as if I've never made a mistake in my life, I will need most of the money I've got to buy that depot, and I can spend the rest on upgrading stations. I've still got a few resources to deliver. Okay, I'm in Charlottetown. I'll soon be out the other side of Charlottetown. Then I'll go back to the map and explain what I was about to say. Now we'll take your plastic windows. I'll take the poutine. And we'll be gone. Right. Yes. If I look at the factories, things like USA East Factory, USA South, USA Centre, Canada Centre, Canada West, USA West, missed. And Mexico, I've completed and collected all these special cars from those. I don't know if I completed the Canada East one. I think I probably did. In fact, I'm pretty sure I did. But there are factories such as this one, Middle East Upper, which I was short 1 piece of iron, so I haven't quite completed that. Asia Centre I actually completed, okay. But the Russian factories I was short 25 bits of wood. And there's another one up here which I was short a few things at the last time I was over in that part of the world. And this one I was short of iron for the Asia East factory. So I'm trying to complete those so I can pick up the cars for those as well. But it really annoyed me. I was short 1 piece of iron. I had no more iron in my depot when I was going near this factory. Whereas the Europe East factory, I completed. Europe South factory is the marble car, which I've now got on the train. So I was doing that whilst travelling around, trying to fill in various resource demands. And my problem is that I empty out a chunk of my depot filling in resource demands. Then as I'm going to and from these places, I tend to pick up other bits of cargo I know I'm going to need later. And all of a sudden I find myself without any space in my depot. So then I do another mass clear out, and as a result of that I pick up new stuff which I know I'm going to need, and once again fill up my depot. So depending on which time I'm going through the cycle, depends on how full my depot is at any given moment. And at the moment it's pretty much stuffed with resources or cargo. I think it's got space for, well, easy enough to check. Click on a depot. It's got space for 60 more. not too long ago it had 700 less than that in there. Then I did a couple of circuits of the USA, picking up ribs for New York, and whilst I was picking up the ribs, I started picking up other stuff. Okay, so this is going to be the long bit of the journey, 2,800 odd miles, so I might as well clear all the completed jobs I've done and get myself some more. Like I say, I'm a bit surprised by the requirement to go to London from Ottawa. I really did think, okay, this is the Oceania quest, so I need to go across the United States, go to the west coast where there's a port, pick up a boat and just take a nice easy boat journey down to Australia, and then I could jump into the next part of the quest. That was my hopeful plan. However, it didn't quite work out that way, so I'm a little bit surprised, shall we say. But I've got 3 new cars. That one's going to be easy to upgrade. That one's going to take a while longer to upgrade, as is that one. You'd think the behemoth cargo car would carry more than 8 cargo. However, my cargo limit is 279. I'm only carrying 57 at the moment, and most of that is not stuff I really was looking to carry. I say most of it, probably about half of it is just stuff I picked up from cargo obstructions and things like that along the way. As I'm in June the 4th, year 6. Now, a couple of episodes ago I mentioned I was looking for a second game to play, because I tend to play 2 games at once. Well, as I've been trying to make some progress with this game, I haven't actually had time to look for a second game yet. But on the bright side, the news that was announced, I think it was yesterday, is that Cook Serve Delicious 3 hit Steam Early Access on January 29th. I think it was January the 29th, which is about 2 weeks away. And Cook Serve Delicious 1 and 2 were 2 of my favourite games. So I will pretty much be immediately picking up Cook Serve Delicious 3 at the end of the month and playing that, because David Galindo, aka Chubby Gans, is an absolutely great game developer as far as I'm concerned. He's made a wonderful success out of Cook Serve Delicious and then improved on it with Cook Serve Delicious 2, so I'm looking forward to Cook Serve Delicious 3. And I will continue when I have some time, possibly this coming weekend, to continue with StarCraft, because having done a lot of circuits and I've spent a lot of time with Tiny Rails relatively recently, I think I've made a fair chunk of progress in what I want to do. And again, I'll pull up the map. When I get to Oceania, as you can see, the Australian part of it has a depot right there, the Oceania West Depot. So anything that these places want, if I have it in my depot, it should be easy to service a lot of these places with a lot of stuff that's in my depot. So that's the hope. So I should be able to concentrate on the actual quest, depending if it sends me out this way, which will not make me particularly happy, but okay. It has that right. It is still Oceania, after all. My Oceania West progress, I've completed 2 out of the 6 tasks. Oh yes, bio upgrade stations and gold from cars. You get that even if you're not actually in the area when you're doing the gold collection. I've got to meet two station cargo demands, travel to a load of the cities. I don't remember having gone to Oceania West. But okay, apparently I've travelled to a load of them. Maybe my train went through there when I wasn't actually playing. I just let it roam around for a while, because I don't remember going to Oceania West. Interesting looking train it's got there. Oh, it's got the Sydney Opera House. That's what that bit is on it. So we'll see how that goes when I get there. But like I say, with the depot right in the middle, it should be a lot less difficult for me to meet cargo demands for everything that's there. That's my hope. Oh, wrong button. That one. Right, yeah. See, this is the Oceania chapter, and I'm making a stop at London, UK. This is completely throwing me. I might as well collect the money for the jobs, because most of them are mileage jobs, and the trip to Galway is a long distance, so I'm going to complete pretty much most, if not all of them. Okay, that's the full complement of jobs back on the list. Have a burst of speed. So, to be honest, I'd kind of like to get to London before the end of this episode. But that kind of explains my plans of where I'm going with this game. Like I say, once I get to Oceania, I'm hopefully going to blast through the Oceania quest in a couple of episodes. I say hopefully, it depends on exactly what it wants me to do. But straight, I wasn't expecting to be sent to London. That just completely throws me. Every now and then something completely surprises me, and that really did surprise me. I had this great plan, this wonderful plan I thought, of how to get to Oceania quickly. And then it goes and throws me a curveball. Throws me for a loop. Any other wonderful ways of saying that? Well, whilst I'm wandering through here... Oh, what's that? My rare roll for... My gumball machine for a rare roll is now 145,000 at a time. So I'll try it. A luxury cargo car. I've already got one of those. Try another rare roll. An oil tanker. Well, you got at least one of those. We'll try a standard roll. A bullet passenger car. I'm not doing very well for finding cars I don't already have. Oh, an Apple car. Okay, at least that's new. Ah. Once again, it's 4 attempts, 1 new car. I always like it when it gives me a new car, because there's still quite a lot of cars for me to collect, and quite a few that are in a gumball machine. So it's not like I'm running out of cars which I haven't seen before. It's just I tending to pick up many cars I have already got, which is not ideal. Let me clear out these jobs just to... Well, that did cost me the best part of $500,000 to attempt to get 4 new cars, or to get 4 cars, 3 of which I've already seen before. Oh good, I've always meant to Galway. Yeah, it's a long trip through the underground transatlantic tunnel. Don't know why I said underground transatlantic tunnel. Tunnels really can't be above ground per se, they have to go under something. The underwater, I suppose, would be a better way of saying it. Quick burst of speed. I do like the marble looking car. I mean, if it only provides music, or I assume that's music entertainment. I tend to think of it as music because it's got a musical note there. Whereas this one provides 2 cargo, 2 passengers, 4 toilets, and even more entertainment. Still disappointed with the Behemoth cargo car, even though I'm about to upgrade it to its next level. I just figure when you got the word Behemoth on the front of something, it would carry more cargo because it would be big. Well, it now carries 10 cargo, having upgraded to level 2. So that could be worse. Adds a little to my cargo capabilities. Yes, we should be exiting this tunnel, this underwater tunnel, any second, and into Galway. Oh, that's my car, isn't it? Okay. From here, I know I need the sausage for some things. I need the watermelons for Alaska, and the rest of it I either don't need or I've got sufficient of in the depot. Should be going around the top of England and down to London. I wonder where they're going to send me after London. Belfast is next. Let's give the train a bit of a clean and maintenance. A burst of speed onto Belfast. Not my favourite city in the world, but there again I do remember what is quaintly termed the Troubles. So my association with Belfast is not exactly positive. Oh good, I want the tea, I want the watermelons, and I want the sausages. I could use the... well, I'm not sure if I can actually use the clogs anymore. Off to Edinburgh, a lovely city to visit, especially during the summertime. And if you're lucky enough to get a day in Scotland where it's a nice sunny day, it looks absolutely spectacular, it does, Edinburgh. It's also a very nice drive to get there. Can't remember how long it took us. We went from... 2 of us on a business trip, we went from London to Edinburgh. I think we drove it in about 6 hours. Well, I was flooring it in a company car. So, and a couple of close calls with speed traps, but it was an absolutely amazingly lovely city to spend a couple of days in. Spent a couple of hours visiting a client, and then we just spent time doing a few tourist things in Edinburgh and drinking. It's one of the nicest cities I've actually been in. For purely, nicest British cities I've been in. For purely the aesthetic, the niceness of the people, how friendly everybody was. And just one of those I have a great positive association in my memory of. Whereas London, where I spent years, a number of years working in various parts of London and its outskirts, I don't have hardly any positive association with. I'm not a fan of London. There again, from what I experienced and what I know from friends and family who I speak to about various things, pretty much nobody outside of London likes it. The people who live in it think it's wonderful, kind of like New York City for the Americans, I guess. But most people who don't live in London look upon London with contempt and pretty much thinly disguised disgust and hatred. It's kind of a unique subculture of a nation which is entirely separate in its outlook from the rest of the country. Not always, but there's very much a bias against London, and I can understand why, having lived and worked there for a while. Thankfully don't anymore. Just the musings as well as on this unexpectedly long and different journey. There you go. As I now come into London, and for the second part of this quest, Sophia! Now that we're alone, Nika, what's going on? Nika, hold on, I need to set up my scrambler. Lance, I love all these spy gadgets. Nika, alright, I'll keep this brief. You remember that Harold Blackwell was being held in Russian prison after the space train incident? Oh, shouldn't that be a Russian prison, but okay. Of course, how could we forget? Won't you bring him back to Canada? Negative. He has some very good lawyers who blocked efforts to do so. However, he's managed to arrange a transfer to a new secure facility in Australia. So where do we come in? I need you to help us transfer Blackwell to Australia. Why didn't you ask Carter? He has his own train company with Mr. Higgs. We know, but my superiors don't think it is wise for family to transport family. Hank, you couldn't do this by plane? We could, but the arrangements Blackwell's lawyers made were quite specific. We'll need to build a maximum security train car to transport Blackwell. Exactly. I have the requirements with me, in fact. Hank, let's draft up some blueprints. Oh joy. Alright, so I've made a stop in London, and now I'm going to make a stop in Stockholm. Let me clear these jobs out the way. Alrighty. I need a load more jobs. Well, I'm guessing I know the nice thing about being the stock in Stockholm is that to get into Russia, I've got to go through St. Petersburg, and I have a load of stuff sat in my depot which I actually want to deliver to St. Petersburg. Well, I say a load. 100 cooking oil, I think it is. So, essentially, where is Stockholm? That one? That one. I think I've done its resource requirement. Oh no, I'm 15 knives short. Okay, I could do that at the same time. I think I'll make a side trip to my depot, and then next time round you'll see me get to Stockholm. Oh, I've got to get some copper and some wood for the factory as well. Okay, well that's going to keep me occupied for a short while I go pick up a load of stuff. But as I say, when you come out of Helsinki as you go into Russia, first place you hit is St. Petersburg, and that has a cargo demand of cooking oil, and I've got about 100 of that sat in my depot. So along with the copper and wood, which the factory wants, that should help fill up the train and remove a few things from my depot to create some space there. But that will be for the next episode. This was, I believe, episode 60 of Tiny Rails. I hope you enjoyed. It surprised the living daylights out of me sending me around this way. But okay, I wasn't expecting to become a prison transport, which is apparently my next job. And hopefully I will see you further down the tracks for more of Tiny Rails in the near future. Cheerio!